freaking happy for you.
You remember me.
No, and it's so funny because you said that at the Grammys the other night.
Dude, we walked in, sorry to cut you off, this is crazy. We walked into the Grammys and we were late, and Trevor Noah literally called us out by name. And then and I was a really weird moment, then I was like, just saw you, and I was like, do you remember me?
Not only, first of all, I have the best pictures of us from those days because I always had my camera around.
I feel like your house in that time was, I feel like I was at the end of a relationship, and hanging out with you was like when, not like when a couple has a baby to save marriage, but it was like the one nice, you know, like it was like the one thing everyone could agree on was that Drew is fun and happy to do stuff.
That
really,
makes
no, like
me
it was
so happy.
Really, it was just a weird time in my life, and Drew is as she seems.
And you are as you seem. You were so nice. You made me feel really good, too. Always. I was always so comfortable around you and happy when you were there. And you just put people at ease. And you are, like,
so
calm
nice.
and confident. But without ever being, like, you know, the air taker. No, and we just, you know what? Those were good times.
They were.
They were a little bit of an end of an era. Right.
For me, it was because it was like, I remember more than ever, and I think anyone does, right before when there was like still like privacy.
Yes.
Not that anything crazy happened, but it was just.
But your
protected.
life changed a lot.
Yeah.
And my life changed a lot too. Shortly thereafter, I like settled down and became a mom. Like it wasn't that long after.
You became a mother, and then also at that time period, I feel like there's like it's analogous a little bit to like how we all had to care about so much more just because everything became everyone could notice everything. So it was just something was really off in the world or whatever it was. There were just these more like protected spaces. I think we're getting back to that though.
I think you're right. I think with each generation becomes a tipping point of when we go too far.
Yeah.
There's some restraint and some
you see it
protectiveness, like a prophylactic, if you will, against sort of the modernity of the time.
Well, we get obsessed with like, especially nowadays. Sorry, I had like something weird in my throat. Anyway,
Cheers.
What's in yours?
Iced tea.
That's nice.
Yeah.
The guests would love it. I'm just kidding.
I'm like, I'm not sick. You can take
No,
mine.
Okay, yeah, so it's like, you look at all these like big like disruptions, like pretty soon all the streaming services are gonna be bundled in one thing. It's like, oh, cable. You know, like everyone's like Chris Rock for the first time ever is live on Netflix. We've never done this before. And I was like, cool, TV. You know, like
yes.
The Uber has basically become the cab. And so you get through these cycles. I think about it a lot as an artist because there's always someone upstairs who's trying to change the form to profit off of. Because, you know, the nature of a big disruption, you know, why is it we love movies that are an hour and a half or 2.5 hours? Comedy shows that are 30 minutes, dramas that are 45, albums that are 12 to 16 songs. And I don't want to spend my time, which there's a lot of pressure to, thinking about how I can break the form when I feel like I can shock myself within the form.
Okay.
Like the best pizza versus something with foam.
Foam?
Like,
yes, foam.
Yeah.
Got it. Yeah. Agreed. I want the pizza every time.
I'm most blown away when someone's like, makes something, like the end of Ratatouille is higher art to me than like the foam.
Yeah, I agree. Also, it's very hopeful because it makes me think that maybe people will come back down to the confines of comfort without trying so hard to color outside of the lines, which can cause a lot of anxiety, self-doubt, FOMO, feelings that aren't attributing to peace and joy. They're attributing to what's not there or what I should be doing. And this is really, I'm gonna carry this conversation a lot. Also in tandem with my need to tamper down my negative self-talk. And
you have negative self-talk?
Oh! It's been so bad my whole life.
What's your shadow? Does it have like an actual form? Like, is it too big? Is it too small?
My shadow.
Yeah, like the, you know, that self that you carry around. That, like, for me, it's like a caricature of. It's a little bit Muppety would be mine. They're laughing because they're like, we see it. But I feel like everyone has like an impression, and you hear people come out with like, I'll hear my mother talk about like, oh, like I look, heavy in this. It's like, no, you don't. But clearly, your bad version of yourself is a bigger version, where some people feel so tiny.
Mine was shrouded. She was very heavy and not someone I wanted to turn to because she was a very maudlin creature, and I don't like depressive types of people.
Interesting.
And she was the most depressed person I had ever met, and so I would avoid my shadow. And now I've discovered that she can be many things, and she's a lot happier because I'm giving her space and light, and I'm nurturing and cultivating the garden, and she's so much happier. And it doesn't have to be like wounded inner child stuff. It certainly can be. But it's the person that's next to you right now who is lacking in nurture and water and might be dying on the vine because of mistreatment or forgetting about them or not standing up for them and protecting them, which is protecting yourself. Once you stop beating yourself up, it's amazing how I've stopped letting some certain people treat me a certain way.
Yeah. I struggle with cynicism because it's always an easy joke. Like, it's like if you just want to make a room laugh, this sucks. It just always works, right?
Yeah.
Like, it's just like, you could just be like, this sucks. Like, you suck, this sucks. It's just like we're laughing, right? Like, it's so quick and easy. I think that's why school's so fun, because we're all just like, this sucks. And then when you become an adult, you start choosing your choices. And so you lose the ability. You can't meet a friend for lunch and be like, this sucks.
Right.
So I just feel like I feel like it's very easy because, like I said, it makes people laugh to like fire it out at other things that you didn't choose. And it's kind of a dead end road. And sometimes you just feel like, when you get in bed at night and you're like, I was kind of cynical today. Maybe you don't, but it's just like.
I will beat myself up if I didn't handle a situation well. Like if I had a shortcoming towards a reaction, that is like fertile ground for me to start beating the crap out of myself. And now I'm like, either handle it differently or recognize that you would like to handle it differently and fix it, die a little inside and move on, but like move on quicker.
Yeah.
Don't let this be catastrophic.
Yeah, nighttime's weird.
Nighttime is hectic.
It's crazy.
I do not like daylight savings time. I don't like it at all.
I don't know who's watching this, but no one likes it. So it's just like, let's just like.
No!
Yeah,
don't get dark at 4 p.m.
Yeah, and also, like, have we not learned the lesson enough that like some of like these old farmer rules maybe like don't work now? Like, isn't that where it comes from? Like,
yes, it is.
Isn't it also born of a time when it's like you can have Mary if I can have your farm? Like,
yes, exactly.
Like,
I used to
is there cursing on this show or no?
Absolutely.
Like, will it get beeped?
Yes.
Oh, really?
In the good way.
What are the words you can say?
I mean,
that are like dicey.
Well, like
and is it context?
We have like a sexual wellness program that we do on the show, and that has a lot of caveats.
Oh, really?
Like a ton.
Oh, got it. Like you could say something in a different, if it's the context.
You would say, like, well, how does the woman find pleasure?
Got it.
But you can't say.
Got it. So like I could be like I lost my money I was at a cockfight last night and it didn't go great.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yes, 100%.
Yeah. This part will get cut, or no?
I don't think so. This is my favorite part.
But it is interesting, the arbitrary sort of context.
Do you know what's fun is in the digital world, albeit a dangerous place that needs some serious thought and regulation, this would fly perfectly in the digital world.
Right.
So you straddle both, and and one can be linear broadcast and one can be digital.
Both, and
Cockfight digital, but maybe not in the context you said it. We'd have to ask Christine Hagen in legal. Who, by the way, watches every single move we make.
Really?
Yes, Christine, I know you're watching right now.
I'm trying to think of...
we call her Lord Hagen.
Lord Hagen?
Yeah.
Well, I'm Lord Hagen. We're out here straddling this thing. We're trying to ride it safely. And we're not going to it up. My favorite thing about Drew, and I can say this because I knew her before I had anything like success related going on. I was actually sort of like famously unsuccessful. I would like play many shows where like nobody would come, and Drew is the kindest to everyone and is the least opportunist person I've ever known.
You don't understand how much that means to me, and I'll tell you why. Because I am socially surprisingly awkward.
What was like an awkward thing that happened recently? Like, what's an example?
Ironically, your friend Taylor Swift walked by me, and I was a cover girl with her.
What'd you
I knew
do?
her back. I went quiet.
Oh, that's not awkward. Not saying anything's not awkward.
Okay, why is it not awkward? Because I felt like I would have loved to have said hello to her, and I didn't because I just was like, you know what?
Was this at the Grammys?
Yeah, I was like, let her have a moment.
That environment is so heightened, and I feel like my experience in the Grammys was easy because I was with my wife and Taylor and Lana, and we're all extremely close, separately and as a group. So that was a very protected little table. But outside of that, the best experiences I had is I just was like, "Are you SZA's mom?" And he was like, "Yeah." And I was like, "I'm from New Jersey too." And and she was like, "Cool." And I was like, "I love your daughter." And I was like, "I know everyone does, but she's really great, and this must be so crazy for you guys." And she was like, "Yeah," like gave me that look, like, "This is crazy." And that was the only experience I was compelled to have, because everything else is just crazy. You didn't do anything wrong. Give me a more awkward one.
I am so thrilled at your perspective because you're the only person that's had it, and that's exactly how I felt, and you're the only person who echoed my shadow to me in that moment.
Well, I'm tired of people being like, "Oh, it's totally cool. Like, there's so-and-so." I was like, I'm not okay being that close to Meryl Streep, and if you are...
Oh my God, I saw...
Then you haven't seen Sophie's Choice.
I couldn't agree more!
Yeah.
By the way, John Oliver came here, and I was like, I wouldn't go up to you because you were sitting next to Meryl Streep, and I was like, I can't handle John Oliver and Meryl Streep. I'm just gonna shut up and keep eating my soup.
It's a bit much. It's not an approachable environment. It wouldn't be normal to act that way.
I knew that I felt comfortable with you. I told you, the thing you always made me feel was at ease.
Okay.
And you made my central nervous system. No, actually, because I think because of growing up in this industry, I am fundamentally not a schmoozer. Therefore...
Oh, interesting.
I'm like...
No, I'm thinking... Well, I was thinking that people would think you're comfortable because you grew up in it.
And the exact opposite is the truth.
Robbed of being like... No, it's actually, there's a lot of discomfort here.
I love you, by the way. I have always loved you. I will always love you.
This is a nice place.
It's a safe place. It's safe. It's fun. There's no judgment. And I just want to ask you a last question, which is, do you know how proud you have made people, whether it's from your hometown in Jersey? I mean, you are Mr. Jersey, and you love...
There's one other, but I'm working.
But you did the best song with him, Chinatown, which I love so much. And your voice on this new record, I feel moments of the New Jersey sound. I feel some Springsteen in your voice. I love Modern Girl. I love the song that you did with Margaret dancing in the video.
That was my favorite video ever because I... literally got to sit on a car and watch her dance. And we shot all night, and I literally, my action was to sit on the car, and it was just the best because I thought, how lucky am I to be here in this moment? And it was beautiful.
I feel the same way in my life every day.
Yeah.
How did I get so lucky?
Yeah.
How can I harness this?
Yeah.
I've lost it before. I've gotten it back.
Oh, you never lost it to me.
Well,
From witnessing you.
We will lose things throughout our life and have to come back to center.
Yeah.
It's not like a perfect smooth ride, and everybody will experience those highs and lows. And just sitting here like you guys laughing, being in this moment, driving Lord Hagen bananas upstairs. This is the best day ever! Madison Square Garden.
Oh, yeah.
How does that feel?
That feels crazy. To get to do those things, like bring my band to the Garden, it's a little bit like you take a step back and you're like, wow, that's pretty wild.
Whether it's with Bleachers or the incredible artists that you work with, just please keep putting what you put out into the world because
Thanks,
it makes
Drew.
it a better place.
That's
Jack's album Bleachers is available everywhere.
I just